Originally defined by Carl Jung, the shadow represents the hidden, unconscious part of our psyche. It's the part of ourselves that we often ignore or deny, containing everything from our deepest fears and unresolved traumas to our prejudices and even undeveloped talents. While this hidden part of ourselves may seem intimidating, it is essential to confront and understand it if we want to achieve true personal growth and psychological wholeness. Facing the shadow is no easy task. It requires us to look deeply at the parts of ourselves that we've suppressed or ignored, often for years. But the rewards are immense. By bringing these hidden aspects into the light, we not only break free from unconscious patterns that hold us back, but also unlock the potential for creativity, self-awareness, and personal transformation. It is a journey of self-knowledge that leads to healing and wholeness. In this video, we will explore the importance of acknowledging the shadow, its dual nature, and how it influences our lives, often without us even realizing it. By understanding what lies in the shadow, we can begin the process of integrating these hidden aspects, ultimately empowering ourselves to live more authentically. Before we get started, if you're interested in content like this, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. Your support helps us continue to bring you more insightful discussions about psychology, personal growth, and the journey towards self-realization. The shadow is one of the most intriguing and complex concepts in psychology. At its core, it refers to the hidden, unconscious parts of ourselves, those aspects of our personality that we either deny or are unaware of. These include our fears, unresolved traumas, and prejudices, but also undeveloped talents and potential. We tend to push these parts into the background because they don't fit with the image we want to present to the world, or they make us uncomfortable. However, just because these elements are hidden doesn't mean they don't influence us. In fact, they can have a powerful impact on our behavior and decisions. Carl Jung, the Swiss psychiatrist who first introduced the concept of the shadow, believed that every person has this darker, hidden side. He argued that it is a natural part of the human psyche, and that ignoring or repressing it can lead to significant psychological issues. For Jung, the process of personal development or individuation involves not only acknowledging the shadow, but also integrating it into our conscious mind. Only then can we become whole, fully aware individuals who are in control of our lives rather than being controlled by unconscious forces. Facing the shadow requires courage, as it involves confronting uncomfortable truths about ourselves. This part of us often contains the emotions and impulses we've buried, such as anger, jealousy, or even hatred. However, by suppressing these feelings, we give them power over us. They remain in the unconscious, influencing our actions in subtle ways. For example, unrecognized fears can manifest as avoidance behavior, while suppressed anger can lead to passive-aggressive tendencies. Until we bring these parts of ourselves into the light, we are at their mercy. But the shadow is not only made up of negative traits. It also contains aspects of ourselves that we've neglected or haven't fully developed. This can include our creativity, intuition, and even leadership abilities. When we deny these parts of ourselves, we limit our potential for growth. By acknowledging and embracing them, we open the door to new opportunities for self-expression and fulfillment. The shadow, therefore, is both a challenge and an opportunity. It holds the key to our fears, but also to our greatest potential. In short, understanding the shadow is a crucial step in personal growth. It is the part of ourselves that we must confront if we want to achieve psychological wholeness. While the process may be difficult, it is ultimately rewarding. In the next section, we'll explore why self-knowledge, including an understanding of the shadow, is so important for living a more authentic and fulfilling life. Self-knowledge is the foundation of any meaningful personal transformation, and understanding the shadow is a vital part of that journey. When we lack awareness of our shadow, we are at the mercy of unconscious forces that influence our thoughts, emotions, and behavior. These hidden parts of ourselves can manifest in harmful ways, driving us to make decisions based on fear, prejudice, or past trauma without us even realizing it. By bringing these elements into our conscious awareness, we gain control over them and can start making more informed and intentional choices in our lives. Carl Jung emphasized that without facing the shadow, we can never truly know ourselves. The shadow contains both our worst fears and our highest potential. When we choose to ignore it, we allow these unconscious forces to take control, often causing us to act in ways that are not aligned with who we want to be. It is only through the process of self-reflection and confronting the shadow that we can begin to see the full picture of who we are, both the good and the bad. Without this level of self-knowledge, the shadow will continue to express itself in subtle but powerful ways. For example, unresolved fears may show up as anxiety in everyday situations, or repressed anger may lead to resentment and conflict in relationships. We may also project our shadow onto others, judging them harshly for traits or behaviors that we ourselves possess but are unwilling to acknowledge. This projection keeps us trapped in a cycle of misunderstanding and emotional turmoil, preventing us from living authentically. By confronting the shadow, we not only take responsibility for our own inner life, but we also free ourselves from the control of unconscious patterns. Self-knowledge allows us to recognize these patterns, break free from them, and develop healthier, more constructive ways of interacting with the world around us. It empowers us to live with greater authenticity and integrity, no longer ruled by hidden fears or unresolved traumas. Ultimately, understanding the shadow is key to achieving psychological wholeness. As we learn to integrate these hidden aspects of ourselves, we move closer to becoming the person we were meant to be, fully aware, fully responsible, and fully in control of our own destiny. In the next section, we'll explore the dual nature of the shadow, looking at how it can be both a source of struggle and a wellspring of potential for growth. The shadow is often misunderstood as being purely negative, associated with our darkest fears and unresolved emotions. While it does contain these uncomfortable aspects of our psyche, it also holds a wealth of untapped potential. Carl Jung saw the shadow not as an evil or dangerous part of ourselves, but as a natural element of the human experience, one that contains both destructive impulses and hidden gifts. To fully understand the shadow, we must recognize its dual nature, which includes both the parts of ourselves we fear and those that can lead to creativity, strength, and self-realization. On the one hand, the shadow houses our repressed emotions, past traumas, and undesirable traits. These are the parts of ourselves we have denied or avoided because they don't fit the image we want to project to the world. But when we neglect these aspects, they can come out in harmful ways, whether in self-sabotage, unhealthy relationships, or destructive habits. The more we resist the shadow, the more it fights for recognition, often causing us to act in ways we don't fully understand. This is why acknowledging the darker side of the shadow is so important for personal growth. On the other hand, the shadow is also the home of our hidden potential. Qualities like creativity, intuition, and even leadership may reside in the shadow simply because we haven't allowed them to fully develop. These traits can be suppressed for various reasons, perhaps due to societal pressure, early life experiences, or our own limiting beliefs about ourselves. By exploring the shadow, we can reclaim these qualities, giving ourselves permission to express our true potential. The shadow, therefore, is not something to fear, but rather something to be embraced as a vital part of our growth. Facing the shadow is not an easy task. It requires vulnerability and a willingness to confront parts of ourselves that we may not like. However, it is in this confrontation that we find the greatest opportunity for transformation. By integrating both the negative and positive aspects of the shadow, we create a more complete and balanced version of ourselves. This process helps us to live more authentically, no longer limited by unconscious fears or societal expectations. In essence, the shadow is both a challenge and a gift. It forces us to face our inner darkness, but also offers us the potential for profound personal development. As we learn to embrace this duality, we open ourselves to deeper levels of creativity, emotional resilience, and self-awareness. In the next section, we'll take a closer look at Carl Jung's perspective on the shadow and how it fits into his broader concept of individuation, the journey toward psychological wholeness. Carl Jung's work on the shadow is central to his broader theory of individuation, a process he believed was essential for achieving psychological wholeness. For Jung, individuation involves integrating the various aspects of our personality, including the shadow, into a cohesive self. He saw the shadow as a necessary part of this journey, as it represents the unconscious forces that, if left unexamined, can prevent us from living authentically. In Jung's view, the goal is not to eliminate the shadow, but to bring it into conscious awareness, allowing us to integrate it and live more fully. According to Jung, confronting the shadow is one of the most challenging but rewarding tasks we can undertake. He believed that only by facing the darker, hidden parts of ourselves can we begin to heal and grow. The process of individuation is a kind of hero's journey in which we face our inner demons and ultimately transform into a more complete version of ourselves. For Jung, this journey is what leads to self-actualization, the realization of our full potential as human beings. Jung also emphasized that the shadow is deeply personal, shaped by our unique life experiences, upbringing, and culture. While certain aspects of the shadow may be universal, such as the fear of death or failure, much of what lies in our shadow is specific to us. This means that the process of integrating the shadow is highly individual. It requires introspection, self-honesty, and a willingness to explore uncomfortable emotions and memories. Yet, Jung believed that it is only through this personal exploration that we can achieve true psychological balance and harmony. A key aspect of Jung's perspective on the shadow is the idea that the shadow is not just a personal issue, but also a collective one. He argued that society, too, has its own shadow, made up of collective fears, prejudices, and unresolved traumas. Just as individuals must confront their shadow, societies must also address these darker aspects if they are to evolve. This concept is particularly relevant today, as we face global challenges that require us to reflect not only on our personal shadows, but also on the collective shadow of our culture. In summary, Jung saw the shadow as a crucial part of the individuation process, the path toward becoming whole. By confronting the shadow, we not only heal ourselves, but also contribute to the healing of society. In the final section, we'll explore some practical methods for working with the shadow, offering tools that can help you on your journey towards self-awareness and personal transformation. Confronting the shadow may sound daunting, but there are practical methods we can use to explore and integrate this hidden part of ourselves. The journey requires self-reflection, patience, and most importantly, a commitment to personal growth. While no single approach works for everyone, several practices have proven effective for working with the shadow. These include dream analysis, reflective writing, meditation, and creative exploration, all of which help bring the unconscious to the surface, making the hidden aspects of our psyche more accessible. Dream analysis is one of the key tools Carl Jung recommended for understanding the shadow. Jung believed that dreams offer direct insight into our unconscious mind, often revealing parts of ourselves that we are unaware of or unwilling to face. By keeping a dream journal and reflecting on recurring themes, symbols, or figures, we can begin to identify the elements of our shadow that need to be integrated. This process can help us confront unresolved fears, traumas, or hidden potential that our conscious mind may have buried. Another effective method for shadow work is reflective writing. By engaging in practices such as journaling or writing letters to ourselves, we create space for honest self-reflection. This process allows us to explore emotions, thoughts, and behaviors that we may not have fully processed. Writing forces us to slow down and examine our internal world, often revealing the unconscious motivations behind our actions. It is a powerful way to engage with the shadow, as it allows us to bring buried feelings and experiences to the surface in a safe and controlled environment. Meditation and mindfulness practices also play a crucial role in shadow work. By cultivating a non-judgmental awareness of our thoughts and emotions, we can observe the unconscious forces at play in our daily lives. Meditation helps create the mental space necessary to recognize and accept the parts of ourselves that we may have been avoiding. It allows us to witness our shadow without being overwhelmed by it, fostering a sense of balance and acceptance. Over time, this practice enables us to become more attuned to our inner world, making the integration of the shadow more manageable. Finally, engaging in creative activities, such as painting, drawing, or music, can be a powerful way to work with the shadow. Creativity allows us to express parts of ourselves that words cannot capture, giving form to the unconscious aspects of our psyche. This form of expression can be both therapeutic and enlightening, helping us process emotions, experiences, and insights that lie beneath the surface. By tapping into our creative side, we often uncover hidden talents and potential that have long been buried in the shadow. In conclusion, working with the shadow is an ongoing process that requires patience, self-awareness, and a willingness to face uncomfortable truths. Whether through dream analysis, reflective writing, meditation, or creative exploration, the key is to engage with the unconscious mind and bring its contents into the light. While this journey may be challenging, it is a necessary step toward achieving psychological wholeness and unlocking our full potential. By embracing the shadow, we not only heal ourselves, but also open the door to greater self-awareness, personal growth, and inner peace.